Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
So, we have someone who does some stuff that no one else does. And I always love this because in our world, it's very, we have so many people that do the exact same thing. But Roberta Hladek, who's co-founder of Energetic Matrix Church of Consciousness, it's not really a church. It's EMC Square. It's just it's a name that is rare and unusual, and that's why I love it. We're really talking about energy, energetic matrix. Energy has not always been thought of until you start getting into space, into people who, of course, are scientists. They always talk about energy, but it's not common to speak about it. But I think over the last 10 years, energy has really come into its own. That people realize that all we really are really is a fountain of energy, and it's how you use this energy. So this organization, I call it AIM.com, that's really how you can look it up. They have figured out something, it's been over 20 years or more, that they have figured out how to help people and to take their energy, focus it, and make them have better health and even better wealth, but really to be the best they can be. So, Roberta Hladek, I know you're listening to me and you're saying, yeah. That's really what you do in essence, isn't it?
Absolutely. You did a great job of explaining it because it was really made it a lot easier to understand. Because a lot of times people think, energy, what the heck are you talking about?
Right.
I can run around the block or I can walk down the street. That's my energy, and I can make it through the day. But it's a little different than that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about how fast you can move around, although that is part of it. Your energy is like we're all molecules. If we looked at ourselves on one of those microscopes or like the aura machine thing that takes your picture and you just see all these different colors, that's what we really do look like. We're just made up of all these little particles. And each one of us has different particles. We may look similar, but we're not the same. So when we talk about the AIM program, we have come up and found a way to measure some of these different particles that attach to us in the form of hereditary dispositions like diabetes, heart disease, depression. Also things like a lot of people say, well, I have a really hard time with relationships, or I have really low self-esteem, or I've been through a lot and I'm just sad all the time. So it kind of goes on our health, and it goes on our emotional and our physical. So there's different layers of these particles that we have been able to come up with an algorithm or a number or a frequency that we put into the machine. And the machine, it's a computer, and it sends these to these trays where our photographs are sitting. Because our photograph, like I was just mentioning, is all these particles. So what the AIM program does is as our photograph is sitting on these trays, it attaches to whatever frequencies are coming to them, and it matches up those vibrations and removes them. And as we remove all that clutter and all those particles that have attached to us, then our life force rises. And what our life force is our inner energy to get through daily life. Some people call it chi, but it's your inner strength. It's how do you deal with life? How can you get over things? Does a cold take you 3 months to get over? Does it take you a week? What does it take you? Because that's your inner strength. If the kids get, a bad grade at school and you got to go talk to the principal, it's very stressful. How do you deal with that? What is your strength like? Do you just go, oh, no, not another thing, and you just walk in there just, feeling terrible? Or are you walking in there with a purpose and wanting to get to the bottom of what's going on with your child and why is this happening? So there's different ways that we can work with the AIM program. And then there's relationships, too. A lot of people say, well, I have a really hard time. I'm just not good at it. I've heard that so many times. Women, men tell me, I'm done. I just can't deal with it. I just picked the wrong people and whatever. The AIM program helps us with that on another level. It changes the way we carry ourselves. It changes the way we think about things, how we relate to people. It helps us with all those different things. And it's not a program that's doing it for us. We're actually doing the work inside us. We don't realize we're doing it because it's very subtle. But then if we kind of take like a piece of paper and write down all the things that we wanted to change, and then we think about it after we've been on AIM for a while, and we go, gosh, that's kind of change. That's doing it. And we, it's like we want this big lightning bolt to hit us and go, there you go. But it doesn't really go like that. It's more subtle. So that's pretty much how it works. And it works on all those different levels, because a lot of times, I don't know with you, but when I've talked to people about what I do and they go, oh, but I'm not sick.
Right.
Well, you don't have to be sick. Most of the people coming on the program are not sick.
Right.
So they want to better themselves, and like you said, you want to be all you can be. If we're going to be living longer like they say we are, I want to live the best life I can for as long as I can. I don't want to be, 95 and not be able to do anything. I want to be able to walk around and be conscious of what's going on around me and not be on a whole gamut of pills. So, that's another aspect of how we can work with the AIM program.
Well, and I just wanted to share something that my doggy is not doing so well. He has some weakness in his back legs, and so I just mentioned it now to Roberta, and she said, well, I'm going to check into it. So tell me what you check. Tell everybody how this works, because he is on the AIM program with me.
Yeah, and Charlie's been on for quite a while. So what I'm going to do is take his photograph, and I'm going to test it and find out, one, if he's clearing something that's hereditary, a hereditary frequency, because I'm constantly adding new things. And so although he's cleared out all of the stuff that he had when he first came on AIM, he's now maybe picking up on the things that have come onto the program that may be still in his body that we need to clear. So we're going to check that first. I'll also check his life force and make sure it's at optimum 100. If it's not, I want to find out why it's not. What is doing that? Sometimes it's a hereditary frequency that's doing that. Then I'm going to go in and check active things and see what's actively going on in him. And if it makes sense to me, that's great. But I'm also then going to go into checking his issue with his legs and his hips and see under that. It's kind of like a binary search, and it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. But I can never go up by what I think it's going to be. I have to erase everything out of my brain when I'm testing him, because I want Charlie to tell me what's going on with him. So that's basically what I'm picking up on, is what's going on within Charlie, what he'll let me see.
Amazing.
So I'll go and check and see if there's something that I've missed, or, maybe there's something else that's going on with him. I also do check emotional states. And you might say, well, a dog, emotional state? Yeah. I checked my cats the other day, and I was telling you this before. One of my cats was having a hard time jumping, and I don't really like him jumping, but he's about 10 now. So he seemed really mopey after he couldn't get up where he wanted to be. And this is the first time he hasn't been able to attain that. So I checked him, and it was anxiety. And so then
it was anxiety? No kidding.
And then I checked to see what's causing his anxiety. Is there something that's bothering him that maybe has bothered his legs, or what is it that's going on? Because he's walking just fine and everything, but he just seemed kind of out of sorts. And I did find a few things. He was clearing a hereditary frequency, so, I just said, well, this too will pass. He's just going to have to deal with it for a couple of weeks, and then once it's gone, he should be able to get back to hopefully not jumping up where I don't want him jumping, but as long as he can get around and do what he wants to do and he's happy, because that's the most important part. So also in Charlie, I'm going to check his emotional state and see, what's going on with him emotionally? Is there something there? And then I can go backwards and say, okay, what's causing that emotional state? So kind of a little puzzle that I do when I do the special request rechecks. And these we only do after someone's been on AIM for quite a while, because then they've already cleared out all the other stuff. Because my main objective is to find something that may not be in the database that's in Charlie. That's my objective.
I see. And it could affect other dogs too, or other people.
Other people, absolutely. One time, years ago, we were checking an autistic child, and we found a frequency in this autistic child, and we put it on the program. And a couple of weeks later, we were getting messages from some of the facilitators saying, hey, one of my participants wants you to check them because their blood pressure is going way up and down and all around, and they're adjusting their medications back and forth. It's driving them crazy. And it was this frequency that was clearing out of different people, but it was affecting blood pressure in some. Yet in this child with autism, it was affecting their emotional state. They were being very aggressive.
That's a wonderful thing that you have, and there's nobody else doing this, I am sure, in the world. And you have this. You've been doing it for so many years, and it's like magic. It's not magic. It's very scientific, actually. But you have developed, you and Stephen, who really did this with the computer, developed a way to pinpoint things that you can now help people with some serious disease, as well as other kinds of things, anxieties and other problems. I love the AIM program, and anybody who isn't on the AIM program is crazy. They should be on the AIM program. I mean that. I just go to aimprogram.com, right? And they can see all about this.
And you can also see we started something new where we have a featured AIM participant, and this man is an attorney, and he's been on AIM for 20 years.
Oh, really?
We've been in business as the AIM program for 21 years. So he's been on since the very beginning, and he called me, and I said, would you like to be featured on our website? And he was, oh, my gosh, yes, I would love that. And I would say within a couple hours, I got his a testimonial from him, because he said he wanted to write a little something about his time on AIM. So I said, okay. And he wrote that up, and we featured him on there, and he sent us a photograph. So on our front page of our website, we have a featured AIM participant that you can meet. We're going to try and do that on a monthly basis. Anybody that wants to give us a testimonial or tell us about their time on AIM and how long they've been on, and we're going to feature them on our website. But he's been on for 20 years.
That's a fabulous idea.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to have, let me do this. If you would like to have one of those kind of people on my radio show, we can do it. How about that?
Oh, he would probably love to do that.
Okay.
I'll contact him and ask him, because he's a really special man. And, people think of attorneys and they go, oh, an attorney's on that program? Because they, you just don't think. You think of an attorney as being more, I don't know what the word is I'm trying to say, but they wouldn't be so spiritual in that respect, I guess. I don't want to put down attorneys or anything, because some of my best friends are attorneys, but they think differently.
Yeah.
I guess. And so we would think that maybe they wouldn't be. You think of someone being on a program like this as maybe being, a vegetarian, and I don't know what. I don't even know how to. We just have all walks of life, I'll just say that.
Okay.
And we have from, people that are very spiritually orientated, and then we have congressmen, we have political people, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have just everybody's, musicians, all walks of life. So it's for everybody that is interested in making themselves be all they can be. And that's exactly what he says in his testimonial, is how it's helped him to achieve the life that he's always wanted, and he looks younger. Everybody thinks he's like 10 years younger than he is, and he's out traveling, and he's doing all these things. So just something to think about, and another way to extend our life experience.
The way that I first heard, and if people have been listening to these interviews with Roberta and with me and with Stephen, know that this was a book that I first found many years ago, and I was so amazed with someone who was almost on her deathbed with cancer. She tried everything, and then she heard about this program and literally went and found them and arrived at their door where they do this. And I think she stayed, 3 weeks or something, and absolutely recovered from cancer.
Yeah, we've had quite a few people that have done really well, and it all depends on the person. So it just depends on, where you are, what you're thinking, how you're thinking, and all that, because that all has a big impact on how we live our life. So, like Anita, you always tell me to look up every day.
Right.
When I get in the car, I look up.
Oh, you're so cute.
I do it all the time, and I'm like, oh my God, look at that beautiful sky. Even though today it's very cloudy here, and we're probably going to get some rain again, but it still is beautiful.
And it's kind of funny because when I look up, I remember saying that to you, because I say you have to look up, Anita. Start looking up, because I am walking, and we always look direct in front of us. But if you just take a little upward look to the sky, and actually, when I don't know if Las Vegas in your area gets the blue skies and the clouds like we get here in Florida, but it's like a painting. And I remember there was an artist who we used to love his paintings, and the sky was purple and yellow, blue, and people, and he did some paintings. People said, "Oh, that skies don't look like that," and I said, "Yes, they do," and he captured that.
Yes, absolutely. There's, it's always, our skies are, sometimes they will not have a cloud to be seen. It'll be just clear blue. And we can see all the way down to the Strip. If we stand out there, we can see the hotels and things on the Strip. And it's quite pretty.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
We're far enough away from the madness.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that's true. You do live in this interesting place where one is like make-believe land and the other is just living, right?
Yeah.
It seems like, though, have you not gotten a new team? Aren't you building a huge stadium now for football, is it?
Yes, we have a Raiders stadium, and then they just built, it's going to be finished, I think, April 8th, and that's for our second-string baseball team. So we've got a lot of stuff going on here, and we also have our hockey team, our Golden Knights.
Oh, Golden Knights, right, a hockey team. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I always think of hockey being in a cold weather, but that's not necessarily true. I always see that one from Canada and things, but that's not the same.
Yeah, our Golden Knights are pretty special.
Right. Okay, so now let's just go into when we find out, let's just say we find out that Charlie has something, and what will you do about that?
Well, once I find out what's going on with Charlie, and if it's already on the AIM program, then there's nothing I can do. We'll just let it run its course and see. He might have hereditary things that are on the program, and then it just takes time for those to remove from the body. And once they're gone, then our bodies have to regenerate a little bit. So then we'll see how he is and maybe recheck him to see, like in a month or so. Mm-hmm. And we might need to recheck him depending on what you tell me how he's doing.
I see.
If I find something that's not in the database, then I'm going to find out what that frequency number is and get that added to the database, so then all of us, including Charlie, have access to that frequency. So we may or may not have it, but at least it's there in case we do have it, and it might help some of us that are aching.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's right. It's funny. He is on this. I don't know how strong marijuana. It might just be the hemp, but he is taking a little. It's like a little piece of whatever they make it into. It looks like a cookie, but a smaller cookie. And then he's on another thing for pain, but they just gave him that. And then of course his appetite's great. Everything is great except this walking. So when I walk him now, I walk, and then if he sits down, he can't get up, I pull up his rear end, and he walks more, and then he sits down. This is really getting to be funny.
Poor little man.
I know it, right? It is. Well, we're working as hard because, they do. Have you ever seen dogs with little wheels in the back legs?
Yes.
And I guess that would be next. I don't even know how that works. Do you?
We had a neighbor when I was a little kid that had a little apparatus
Really?
hooked around his
Right.
like his chest.
Yeah.
And then it had wheels, and his legs just kind of laid on a little pad.
Oh, I see.
His front feet pulled him around. He was very happy.
Yeah, it is amazing, but I have to tell you something that I had seen. Just getting off the subject, but there are a lot of allergies there where you are. See
Yes.
that? Yeah, because people have talked about that, having allergies and coughing and all. Where's it coming from?
A lot of trees and the bushes. Some of the desert plants. And we've got tons of building going on right now. So then when the wind blows, it's blowing up all the dust that's been dug up and what have you. And sometimes we can hardly see down to the strip. It's kind of like a bowl. So we're at the one end of the bowl, and the strip's in the middle, and then on the other side of town is the other end of the bowl. And sometimes we can't even see down there because of all the dust when the wind blows. So we do have a lot of that. In fact, my other half has always had allergies and asthma. And for like 3 years, he's been clear. And he never had it until we moved here. And probably about 8 years into being here, we've been here 13 years, he started to get this asthma. And he went to a pulmonary person, and they said, well, it just happens, and it's in the dust and the air and everything. And then it went away. But I know yesterday he was saying that he had to use an inhaler because he could feel the dust. But I think it's a lot. He was out and about, and there's a lot of building. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That's probably true. Let's jump really fast ahead, because there was someone that I just met who was telling me that they actually had a Down syndrome child, now was 28 years old. And I don't know the person well enough to say that they should consider AIM, but as I start to talk to them more, I will do that. I now I'm kind of forgot who the person was, because it isn't someone in my world. It just happened. But why don't we talk a little bit about those very, very serious, now I guess, normalities that are horrible for people, and that you've really seen some good stuff with your energies.
We sure have. We have a scholarship program for those with Down syndrome and also autism. And these young people and older people too. We've had some older adults on the Down syndrome program and on the autism program that have done fabulous. So like I said before, it just depends on the person, but we give this program, if we, when we test, we find those frequencies, then we can put you on our autism scholarship program. And this is free to the participant with Downs or with autism. And then we do like to see a parent or guardian go on the program with them as well. And if they come on at the same time as the child or adult with one of these things, then I will give one parent a 50% discount to come on with the person. Because what we want you to do, too, is to give us reports every quarter. And what that is letting us know how we're doing, if we're finding the frequencies, and if there's something that they're still having challenges with, then we can see if there's something we need to add to the database.
So when some of the people with the children who really have Down syndrome, the ones who are doing better, what gets better? What do they see?
Well, we had the most dramatic one was a little girl that was on the program, and she was 3, and her father put her on first because he wanted to see how she did. And he told us that within the first year, her facial features started to get sharper and to change. And so once he started seeing that, he put the whole family on. And they've been on for quite some time. We have an autism person, a girl. She's now, I think she might be in her 20s now. She's been on for a very long time. And her grandmother put her on and has been dealing with the reports and everything. And she's graduated from college, and she's gotten married.
Really?
And she said that she never would have been able to do that without the program. And at first, her grandmother wrote all of her reports for her, and then she started writing her own reports because she felt that she knew best how she was doing. It's a really great story. Her grandma is just over the moon happy for her. And she's a beautiful girl, and she's done really, really well. And it just depends, too, on the degrees of autism, I think, too, because there's so much we don't know about it. And so we've got a lot of kids and adults on our autism program that are doing fabulous.
Yeah, and nobody can take that challenge on. I mean, for you even to say that is like, what?
Yeah. And it's just so, because it's very hard for the family and for the parents. A lot of parents split up over these kind of things because it's very stressful, because you just you want to help, and there's just not a lot available.
Right. Well, I'm going to have to now say goodbye to my favorite guest here, but I certainly hope, I'd love to hear from you about Charlie. That would be wonderful. And thank you so much, Roberta. Always, always, always. And send me some more articles.
I will do that.
Okay,
and
honey.
Thank you, too, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, take care of yourself.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.